we're back, people. Your favorite sports podcast, roaming the airwaves, rolling with Ramos is back. I've never lied. Like, you can continuously let me know if I ever lied about that. I never have. I'm the one that holds the last name Ramos. I would like to specifically thank my daddy for that one. Mike Ramos in heaven. I hope you enjoyed your birthday last week. Miss you. Episode 153. Now, look. We're riding quite along on this happy camper. 102 subscribers. Thank you. I didn't even notice that. We just keep going and going, and you just hope to get to 100, but I didn't even notice that. 102 subscribers. 153. Shout out to the Steelers. They ain't in it, but shout out to the Steelers. The Harry Carson edition. And joining us, my good friend, my brother, plays the hell out of a sax. We spent some time in Connecticut together. We never got a chance to see each other in Connecticut, but our growing pains there stayed the same. No, we did. We did spend some, once, we didn't get much time, but life happens. Your beautiful, happy family happened. Tell my girl I said hello, your wife. I hope she remembers me.
She does.
Unkwa Ansonye. Not only is he the president of NABJ in Philly, I've never been to a regional. I got to make it. By the way, I got to make the CU so I can get a cheesesteak because you will know where to go. The dirtiest places, the better. And you're a sports journalist. Welcome to Rolling with Ramos. Tristan will be chiming in soon.
Let me just say this. It's funny. I knew of your show before we got a chance to meet. Speaking of NABJ, I think we met at NABJ in Vegas, right? And that was when I was like, oh, you're Ramos. You're Ramos. I'm like, no, I like the way you kick it. And it just it really all clicked from there. So to be here, to be a part of this is something I'm really, really happy that we finally were able to make happen. Because my schedule, it's not what it used to be. So I'm so happy to be here.
That's crazy because you never know how people know you know. You think you're doing things, nobody paying attention. You was like, don't you do such and such? I was like, you're watching. Get out of here.
Yeah. And you were doing a good job, too.
Anywho, let's get right into this, shall we? And this is college football. We know what happened last night. This will most likely be our college football with Tristan segment when he gets back to us. Indiana completes undefeated season and wins national title. College football final, number 10 Miami. They beat them. They beat them 27-21. Fernando Mendoza. That's a bad man, okay? 16-27, 186 yards. Not to mention Mendoza lowers his pads into a defender, spun in a full circle. Used his hand to keep his balance, then launched himself horizontally and reached the ball over the goal. Indiana touchdown, 12 yards on 4th and 4 with 9:18 left. He also took a beating in this game because Miami, that defense was kicking his ass. He was sacked 3 times, had a lip split. He was bloodied. He was bloodied by that Miami defense. They put something on his arm. He had blood on his arm. Make sure y'all drop those comments down below. My man was getting beat up. The Heisman Trophy winner's touchdown Monday night put an exclamation point in a win over Miami that closed out an undefeated season and brought an improbable, maybe impossible, national championship to a program that had known nothing but losing, for about 140 years. Damn, at least it's older than me. Nation leading 713 losses. The CFP trophy now heads to the most unlikely of places, Bloomington, Indiana. Billionaire Mark Cuban, you might know him. He is an alumni there, and him and several thousand of his closest friends packed Miami's home stadium and turned a title game ticket into a 4,000 or more splurge. Indiana wins it all. How do we feel about that and Mendoza's performance? You're a guest in my home. You're first.
Thank you, Curt Cignetti. Thank you, Curt Cignetti, for proving that, you know what, the SEC can say all it wants, it can do all it wants, and you know what, college realignment, as someone who really loves college basketball, it really made me mad. And to be honest with you, when I hear Oregon's in the Big Ten, I'm gonna say it again.
Yes.
In the Big Ten, yeah, okay. So if the Big Ten is gonna win it, not one of these expansion teams. Let it be somebody who was there from the jump. So shout out to Indiana, and I'm hugely a big fan of Curt Cignetti. You know, we talk about coaches kind of not being characters these days. At least other really good people have talked about it. And I think what I loved about Curt Cignetti is that right from the jump, he says, "I win, Google me." And yeah, that's endearing now that he's won it all. But I'm like back because, you know, I have a lot of love for the mid majors, which includes the HBCUs. Shout out to them, especially Fair Morgan State. If I said that wrong, please don't hurt me.
Fair Morgan, you're right about that.
Okay.
No, matter of fact, the national treasure, Morgan State University.
Shout out to homie Maya Gilmore, by the way, because she would get on me if I got that wrong too.
I worked with her at Fox 45. How'd you know?
Listen, she, like, someone who gets it. I have so much love and appreciation for her. But back to my point about the mid majors. Like, I knew of Cignetti because James Madison at the FCS level was a consistent power even before he got the job. But then he got the job, then they jumped to FBS, wins a national title before they jumped to FBS. So I was aware of the way that he got down in terms of just winning. But once I realized that he walked in and said, "I win," and everyone, myself included, is like, "That's cute. Okay, let's see what happens in December." What do you mean you've only lost one game in December? But you got blown out first round of the playoff. Okay, so that was a cute little story. You know, let's see what you do this year. You've got a slightly harder Big Ten schedule. You have to go to Oregon this year. You got to go to Penn State, even though Penn State wasn't that good this year. Okay, so, you know, there's nothing that Indiana can show us. Wait, they went undefeated? Wait, they clapped teams?
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean they beat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game? It seemed like Indiana was surprising everybody from start to finish. I love that. I have a feeling that college football fans, and Tristan, I think you could probably speak to this, I don't think they love parity the same way that other sports do. So for me, the fact that Indiana, of all teams, is a national champion in football, I'm here for this. I'm super here for it.
Tristan, let's talk about Indiana, shall we? This is your segment. Shout out to this head clerk you got going on. Fellas, Valentine's Day is on the same day as the Super Bowl next year. They say, "Hey, look, sports is a love language." Watch it with me, baby. Let's get some wine. Tristan.
I have a year to make plans.
There you go. No, I mean, everything that he said was true. I think the fact that if you have a group of guys that they don't have, there's no 5-star recruits in the age of these NIL deals and all these things, to have a team that is actually a legit, college football team. I don't expect all these guys to be first round draft picks or what have you. They'll have a couple players that are going to get in the NFL draft outside of Mendoza. But this is kind of reminds me of like the early days where you just had a group of college athletes that got together and just by great coaching and the will to win, willed themselves to a national championship. I mean, it's what you wanted from an undefeated team is what they displayed. The teams they were supposed to beat, they crushed. And the teams that you didn't think they could beat, they beat them in a convincing fashion, even though it might have not been a blowout, but it was still convincing fashion. But the ones that they said they were going to crush, they dominated. And so when you look at that, and you look at the coaching. One of the guys on ESPN called him Cignetti since he won a national championship, and I think that's fitting. I mean, he called his shot. He called his shot. He said, "All I do is win. Google me." And 2 years, a team that was never thought about for college football, for in 2 years, made them a national powerhouse. And the reason why I say powerhouse is because, again, look at the dominating way that they won these games on the way to the national championship. And it was a great national championship game. Miami definitely showed that they belong. So, I know some people were like having, qualms about that, if like Miami was the team to go. It was a great game, but you just saw the team's will to win prevail. And again, going up against a team that has 45 4-star, 5-star recruits, NIL deals, out the wazoo, and then a team that just got, their most famous guy is Mendoza. Like that's their most famous player, and he was a 2-star that got rejected by the University of Miami. So when you see all that happening, it's like, and it's so poetic. Like, you're back in Miami, you wanted to play for Miami, they rejected you as a 2-star. You win the Heisman, you beat the very team that rejected you. Not only that you beat the team that rejected you, but the guy that caught the game-sealing interception was also rejected by the University of Miami because he wanted to play for them. So if that's not poetic justice, I don't know what is.
Speaking of Miami, like you said, not shabby on that other end. Carson Beck, 19 of 32, 232 yards that man gave you. 1 touchdown, he did throw a pick. Malachi Tony, if you don't know his name, you better know his name. 10 receptions, 122 yards, 1 touchdown. To your point, Tristan, about how the Hurricanes proved they belonged all the way, they were listed as 18th in the first CFP rankings, moved to 10th, and sneaked into the playoffs, bringing as many questions about the process as selection itself. Now, this was a close call for Miami, but we all know what Miami breeds. Hell, in DC alone, Tristan, Clinton Portis, Sean Taylor, he was coming off the bench. Ed Reed, it was a starter. He was coming off the bench. Could you imagine that team? Santana Moss alone, over there on the other side of 95, Ray Lewis, Ed Reed. Like, there's so many names. It was good to see Michael Irvin back out there strutting his stuff, looking like a unk.
And other stuff, maybe.
Close call for Miami. Just cats making an appearance. Close call for Miami. How good does it feel for us, for those that grew up on college football, watching Miami? How good was it to see them back on top?
I loved it. And I loved it because I feel like, so I'm a bit of a late bloomer in a lot of senses, right? So like, I didn't start really like getting into sports for real until maybe 2004, 2005. So we're talking like last year, middle school, first year, high school. By that time, Miami didn't matter. So all I got was like the fringes of like those like early 2000, 2001 teams, their guys finally being in the league. And then I had to watch the U, and then I had to do some extra homework to really understand the history of it all. So full circle for me, I love the fact that they're back, even though their realignment story is a little bit different because they were in the Big East when they won those titles in the 90s. Then they jumped to the ACC and hadn't really had a foothold in that conference.
Yeah.
There you go. And can I just say, on 2 points for Miami, number one, I love the fact that Mendoza got to come back and do all that sort of stuff. And I know that we sort of talked about it, but I just want to reinforce the fact that he wore opposing colors and won at the crib. I cannot stress enough. He won at the crib. Because it'd have been one thing if that was like his dream school and he was from like Maryland.
Right.
Or he was like from Long Island or whatever. Nah, he's from his high school's right down the street. And he came back and said, "Oh, y'all don't want me? Let me hold the shit right quick. Oh, you wanted it back? No, I'm keeping it." So that part was fantastic. But the second part of it is, and forever will be, dear Notre Dame, join the conference. Sincerely, everybody else. Stop whining. Stop complaining. What did you think the conference was going to do? You have an arrangement with the conference when it comes to football. You play 5 of their schools, and then you do whatever else you want to do. If you had joined that conference, you would get the same love. But you had an arrangement with the ACC. The ACC is married to Miami. Sorry, wifey beats side piece. That's all I'll say about that.
No, fact. I mean, this is where you're saying like Notre Dame kind of has to get off their high horse a little bit. Like you guys are not the Notre Dame of before, where you had all this lore. It's not like that.
Right.
You know, you're not coming off of that. So you need to kind of get with the times, especially again. No one's really looking at these schools where they say, oh, you know, because I remember they said they like, oh, we pride ourselves on being you know, student athletes and all that stuff, which is all well and good. That's all well and fair. But in this day and age of the NIL, these guys that are 4 or 5 star recruit players, these guys that really know how to play the game of football, what they're looking for is, hey man, are you going to get me enough games where I'm going to be on TV? I can showcase myself to these owners of the NFL, these GMs of the NFL, these coaches of the NFL, that I'm going to get with it? Or are you going to still try to be the anomaly, try to finagle your schedule just to still not be in the college football playoffs in the first place? Who's going to waste their time doing that? You're lucky, you know, like I remember when they were talking about Coach Freeman was talking about for Jeremiah Love to possibly come back to school. Why would he do that? Why would he do that? His stock is already high and it's not going to get higher because of how you all handle yourselves as a team and as an organization with college football. Now I understand that, you know, people are not fans of the NCAA. It's pretty much like a wild west out there because there's nobody to really center everybody. But Notre Dame, man, you got to get with the time. Look at what's going on. You're trying to still hold this standard like, oh well, we're Notre Dame. We're the Golden Goat. You're not anymore. So figure out what you're going to do going forward. You're going to lose more people, more players that want to get an opportunity to not only be exposed, but also to compete against the better competition.
Can we also say for the record that the NCAA could have fixed it, but kind of chose not to?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, listen.
They very much chose not to.
Oh yeah, the NCAA will never not be absolved of the many fractures of college football right now.
Very quickly, Miami back on top. How you feel?
I need more.
Kristen.
I'm about to say I probably need more. I agree. I mean, this was a great year. It was great to see the alum kind of get that swagger of the youth. But I do want, and I'm not saying that like they're not capable. Very much so capable of doing it. But I just got to see it. You know, I'm sure that it's another quarterback they got to look at. They got the weapons. I think they got to replace the running back, replace quarterback. That freshman receiver, I mean, he's a dynamo. To be only 18 years old and to see what he did.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. So he's gonna definitely be the focal point for their offense next year. But I gotta see who their quarterback's gonna be, because for the longest time that was a big issue. Even with Cam Ward and what he didn't get them this far. And you one thing that made the U so special back in the day was that you got these guys, these big recruit guys to come and buy in. Like you just listed it off. You had a running back room that had, you know, Willis McGahee playing fullback because it was just so crowded. You had Frank Gore, Clinton Portis. You had Santana Moss, who was on punt return, because you had people like Andre Johnson as your starting receiver. Like, what were you gonna do? You had Antrell Roll, Ed Reed, Sean Taylor. These were your DBs. Like this was a stacked unit of players. So I think in order for the U to really get that swagger and continue, you need to have those kind of dogs that are willing to come in and buy in to what you're doing. And I think they got the right coach. I think they got the right culture is coming along, but we just got to see it again.
Are we mirroring that, Inqua, and we can move on? All right. I figured we cut straight to the chase here because we don't need, I mean, if you're going to get some Hennessy on the rocks, do you really need some Coke? Let's just go straight to what we need to do, okay? NFL. Denver 33, Buffalo 30. Josh Allen, 25 of 39, 289 yards, 3 touchdowns. He threw 2 picks. He also had a couple other issues as well. 12 carries, 66 yards on the ground. James Cook, 24 carries, 117 yards. Dalton Kincaid, 6 receptions, 83 yards, 1 touchdown. Bo Nix, we'll talk about him later. 25 of 46, 279 yards, 3 touchdowns. He did throw a pick. 12 carries, 29 yards on the ground. Marvin Mims Jr., 8 receptions, 93 yards, 1 touchdown. Will Lutz's 23-yard field goal in overtime, sending Denver to the AFC Championship. Now, before we get into everything, I want to talk about these calls. Denver's game-winning drive came after nickelback Jaquan McMillan intercepted Allen's deep pass in overtime. McMillan's pick was Denver's 5th takeaway from the game. McMillan wrestled the ball from Brandon Cooks. He took it right out of his hands at the Broncos' 20-yard line when a field goal would have won the game for Buffalo. Referee Carl Sheffer said in a pool report, the receiver has to... We still don't know what a damn catch is in the NFL. Please figure it the hell out. You're killing me. I know you're killing all, but you're killing me. The receiver has to complete the process of a catch. 1, 2, 3 foot, 5 foot, $1. We don't know what it is. He was going to the ground as part of the process of the catch, and he lost possession of the ball when he hit the ground. The defender gained possession of it at that point. You know, I kind of see it now. The defender is the one that completed the process of the catch, so the defender was awarded the ball. The next day, the refs awarded Rams receiver Devontae Adams the catch on a play that looked eerily similar to the one in the Broncos-Bills game, down to the way the ball was ripped out of Adams' hands, some scratching their heads. One in particular being Joe Burrow, because he came out of Twitter hiatus to talk to y'all. I ain't seen him on Twitter in 2 years. The amount of people that don't understand what a catch is in the rule book flabbergasts me. And it's not the officials. Ooh, the 2 plays yesterday were not difficult calls, and they got them both right. Okay, so I'm asking you, did they? How do we feel about the officiating this past weekend or in the postseason in general, if you want to go there?
I really hate to be that guy, but the referees have become such a storyline in this game that all I can say is it is what it is, dog. Like I don't have it in me to go back and forth about the referees anymore, because what else do we have left? More referees. Check. I think they got a raise. They're probably still severely underpaid. No, they are severely underpaid still, but still, check. You changed the review process to allow for coaches not to waste challenges so they could get calls right. Check. Dog.
Help me.
What more do you want from me? Like, come on.
I thought there was a pass interference call on the defensive side that was missed in the Houston game. What are we gonna do?
Like, I know human error is supposed to be a beautiful part of sport or whatever it is, but nah, man, that's crazy. I can't. I really, really can't. The interception was unfortunate timing, and I have a feeling we're gonna get to the other part of that game, which I'm licking my chops for. But as far as officiating this, hey man, I can't call it anymore. I quit.
So was it a catch?
Sure.
Yes or no? Oh, sure. Okay, Tristan.
Yeah. I'm just saying sure.
Based on the rules, to me, when I kept looking at it, it wasn't a catch. I think the guy just ripped it out of his hand. It was like a 50-50 ball, and he just ripped it out of Brandon Cook's hand because of the completion.
I didn't
of the
see
catch
a knee.
Done.
A knee is a knee down for me. Your body down ain't down. His body went down, and next thing you know, their hands were both on the ball, and he got it. Go ahead.
And if he was able to rip it, means you didn't have full control of the ball. That's how I look at it. And then you kind of got to be an actor. Brandon Cooks didn't get up and be like, "Oh, I caught it." He kind of like laid there in like defeat. Like, you knew you lost the ball. Like you knew that you lost. So all those things played a part in me. I'm like, nah, bro. I think you just missed out on it. Like, I don't think it could have been thrown better. A lot of people blame Josh Allen on that throw. I don't think it could be thrown better than where Brandon Cooks was. Brandon Cooks just got to fight for that ball, man. You know what's going on. You know what the situation is. You got to fight. You got to fight for the ball.
In a continued attempt to not hold you guys hostage of getting to the point here, because America, this is what you want to talk about. This is what we've been talking about the whole time. I'm going to keep this conversation going. Again, Hennessy, no Coke. You don't need it. You're a thug. Bills, they failed once again to reach the Super Bowl with Allen at center, even though Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow came out of Twitter. You know why? Because his ass is in Cancun. And Lamar Jackson is in Florida enjoying himself, okay? And watching this and saying, we might be saying a lot, but he's not going to say anything. He's a class act. They're not in this at all. They're not standing in his way this time, as that trio of franchise quarterbacks all missed the postseason party. They're not a part of this. Coming off of the first road playoff win of his career, Allen's first 3 turnovers helped Denver build a 23-10 lead before he threw a 10-yard touchdown pass to Keon Coleman and a 14-yarder to Dalton Kincaid to give Buffalo a 24-23 lead early in the fourth quarter. The Bills are left wondering. They still sitting waiting. How they, because I ain't never seen a Super Bowl handed to you more in your hands than this one, how they are going to win with Josh Allen still and get to the promised land. They will do it because this was quick. Without Sean McDermott, Bills fired him effortlessly, effectively on Monday. Okay, so I figured this could be an open discussion. I ain't got you know where I'm going with this. I've been saying this. I have nothing to ask. Here we go. Accountability. Josh Allen. How is this firing? And most particularly, how we put these quarterbacks together when it comes to standing next to their peers. When I'm talking about one. Well, whichever one of y'all want to take the floor first, I'm gonna go after.
I if I may, and I want y'all to follow me here. Follow me here before I lose y'all. I actually feel sorry for Josh Allen. And I'm going to explain why.
Okay.
Because Josh Allen, in the post-game press conference, said, it's my fault. I can't turn the ball over 4 times. Josh Allen somehow willed himself to get better. Like, think about it. He was drafted full-blown on potential. They're like, the boy can't hit the broadside of the barn, but he's big. He's got arm talent. He's, and let's figure it out. Let's give it a shot. And he did the work to fix himself, and yet he's still holding the bag at the end of it. But I don't feel sorry for him because he's taking accountability for himself. I feel sorry for him because everybody feels the need to help him. Everybody feels the need to explain it away for him. He's responsible for a full-blown rule change in the NFL. The Bills left 12 seconds on the clock, up by 3 against Patrick Mahomes. And the NFL's response was, oh, poor Josh, poor baby. You didn't get a chance to respond to that mean old Patrick. Here, we're going to change the rules of overtime. He didn't ask for that. Even his MVP last year, he wasn't even first team All-Pro. Oh, poor Josh,
That's just
Lamar. It's just his time. That Lamar, he's got 2 already. He's already going to go to the Hall. We don't want to talk about it because he had no business being drafted 30th. But here, Joshy, this is for you. Y'all not helping him be great at all because it's excuse after excuse. when he's not making them. Y'all are. Not y'all, the corporate y'all, but you get where I'm going with it. So I hope from start to finish that makes sense.
Tristan?
I fully agree. He's not out here making the excuses of why he hasn't been successful, why he hasn't gotten to the Super Bowl. But the media and everybody outside has been making these excuses for him. The excuses that Lamar Jackson does not get. The same excuse that Lamar Jackson does not get. Let me even paint the picture. I'm gonna go even a little deeper for you. When he came into the league, like you said, he was very raw, drafted off of potential, big, strong arm, and all these things, but had to learn how to play quarterback. Had to learn the art of playing quarterback. How to learn how to be accurate. How to learn how to make right decisions. What acquisition was acquired that all of a sudden made Josh Allen look like the Josh Allen we all know today? There was one particular. You have the answer?
Would that be serial baby daddy Stephon Diggs?
Okay. So when he came along, all of a sudden now Josh Allen was looking like the Josh Allen that they hoped he would be. Right? Now, what was said, again, I'm trying not to make this a thing, but what was said was that after a while, him and Josh couldn't agree. Stephon Diggs was a little too fiery, would hold him accountable on the sideline as well as in the locker room. All these things to the point that you all shipped him out and never found a replacement for him since. Where's Stephon Diggs going to play this weekend?
You go.
No. I'm long-winded.
Is it called the AFC Championship game?
Oh, right.
Oh, okay. All right.
And when he went over now when I remember when they said, he went to the Texans. Right. I remember when he went to the Texans, he tore his knee. Everybody thought he was going to be a wash. He went to the Patriots. They thought, okay, that was an afterthought. And he has changed life for Drake May. Don't you think that Josh Allen's over there missing his ex? Like, man, we had some real good times. Maybe we could have worked it out. Grass ain't always greener. Exactly. Because when they drafted Keon Coleman has not panned out to be the receiver that it could be. And you had a chance when the Dolphins were doing a fire sale at the NFL trade deadline to go get Waddle from the Dolphins, and you didn't want to pull the trigger. So I'm looking at all of those factors. And then I'm looking at Josh Allen, where you wanted him to be Superman. You wanted him to be Superman when it was time to be super. Well, this was his opportunity to be super. We could talk about all the things of he didn't have weapons, he didn't have this, that, and the third, blah, 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 blah. He had a chance to win the game. And when you needed him to be the hero, he could not do it. And the same way that we get on, well, not we, but the same way that y'all want to get on Lamar Jackson for falling short should be the same energy that you give to Josh Allen for falling short. Because also, you put any quarterback behind that offensive line that Lamar Jackson had to deal with this season, and you let me know how they were going to pan out.
Well,
Josh Allen had his offensive line. He might have not had a number one receiver, but he had the best running back in football for the year, and he had an offensive line. And his defense just had to be average. So you had enough. If you're this player, you had enough to at least get you to the conference championship game. If you lost in the conference championship game, I might have been like, okay, it's still not good, but at least you got there. And let me also say this: I don't think Sean McDermott should have been fired. I understand why.
I'm kind of with you,
but I don't think he should have been fired. And if he should have been fired, then the GM Bain should have been fired because you put this roster together. And I'm sorry, you tell me that the coach that had the highest winning percentage in the NFL for the last 6 years gets fired for what?
Yeah.
For what? You don't even give him an opportunity to get him actual tools to use? Come on, man. Like let's not do this. So I'm looking at this offseason. Josh Allen gonna have to have a reality check for himself. Bane is going to have a reality check for himself, because whoever gets that head coaching job, you can no longer use them as being the scapegoat if they fall short. It's going to be on Josh Allen, and it's going to be on that GM if they fall short again. This is the offseason that you need to retool. You made Sean McDermott the scapegoat for this. You said it was him, because I was so shocked when I saw that. You made him the scapegoat for this loss. Okay, so now we're going to watch you, because everyone that has left you is succeeding elsewhere. Everyone that's left you is succeeding elsewhere. Everyone that you said you didn't need is succeeding and excelling elsewhere. So I want to see. And don't let the Patriots end up being in the Super Bowl with Stephon Diggs. Come on. It's going to look so bad. It's going to look so bad.
The New Yorker in me just threw up on the inside. You have to excuse me, dog.
Listen, I'm trying to tell you, because if he had a legitimate number one receiver, I think the life would have been a lot different. And then you let a legitimate number one receiver walk out the building.
Is it my turn?
We waiting on you.
Go ahead.
So Dalton Kincaid isn't shabby by no means. So to say you have nothing, the lie detector determined that was a lie. 2, we talked last week about, and I asked Freddie Coleman this. Shout out to Freddie. We asked him this. In a year where this has been the most uncommon year. Week 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 goes by. You still don't know who the front runner of the Super Bowl is. This team looking good. This team looking good. That team looking good. But nobody has given you legitimate contender. Even though if they're looking like contender, there's something about them that may not be exposed, and somebody gets hurt, something happens. You look at the quarterback core. Again, you have no Lamar Jackson. You have no Joe Burrow. You have no Patrick Mahomes. So with no Patrick Mahomes, I asked him, hey, because the Chiefs aren't in it, is this the year that people say, oh, well, of course they're going to go to the Super Bowl? That nobody has to run into the Chiefs. Again, you play what's in front of you. Nobody's afraid of the Chiefs anymore. They didn't do well this year. Hell, you might have your greatest tight end retire after this. You don't know what's going on in Kansas City right now. We have totally seen Goliath been taken down. So that's not an excuse. You play what's in front of you. So it's any given Sunday. So that we can't even give these guys that worked out hard that stratosphere, because you went out there and you beat the Chiefs and you did what you had to do. They're not here. They couldn't muster it. So when you look at the core of the quarterbacks in the playoffs right now, Caleb Williams, playoff debut. Bo Nix, playoff debut. You're looking at Drake May, playoff debut. CJ Stroud, not a playoff debut, but whatever the hell he did the other night, we'll talk about that later. If you look at that quarterback core and you're Josh Allen, what the hell was the problem? You're supposed to exceed. You're supposed to be the Superman. You're supposed to do effortlessly above these guys. Again, because nothing that hard, quote unquote, should be in your way. These guys are making a name for themselves. This is where they Sam Darnold. For God's sake, Sam Darnold, shout out to Sammy. You might be able to play a Super Bowl at home. Shout out to Sammy. Tristan, I'm going to get to you later about that. Sam Darnold, out of all the people. And you're Josh Allen. DEI, MVP, whatever you want to call it. This man gave them a lead in the 23-10. If I look back, 23-10. Before halftime, he comes back out. I guess he gets his stuff together, talks to everybody. He figures it out. They start moseying on back. He still gets about 2 fumbles, which one of them caused like a 10-point swing at one point. You throw those interceptions, but you come back. It's 24, what was about 25, 24, 24, 23, 24, 23 at that point in time. So you're thinking, okay, at this point, all you got to do is maintain. The defense has to maintain. And for everybody that's out there saying the defense, both corners were not looking at the ball and making a play on the ball when them pass interference calls were called. That you get. We want to talk about the refs. You gave it to them. And then to add insult to injury, Martavius Bryant, what the hell are you thinking? Do you even care that's toward the end of the game and anything could happen? And you tacked on 15 yards because you want to throw your helmet and yell at the refs. Everybody's involved in this. Deion Dawkins, everybody online crying. These crocodile tears ain't going to save y'all. Josh Allen overthrew a pass in the end zone, which he did last year in the AFC Championship where you could have went to the Super Bowl and beat the Chiefs. But guess what? He overthrew. He cannot muster it. So guess what? You got 20. You got that. That didn't happen. Here goes Denver coming back down the field. At the time, we'll talk about that later. We didn't know what was going on over there in Denver. They will themselves in. You get another interception, controversial, call it or not. Denver wanted it more. So we're talking about 4 turnovers. You will your team back. Other factors happen. He had a Baltimore Ravens game. Lamar Jackson would have been dragged up to Chesapeake Bay for the game that Josh Allen had. That is the same game. And what you guys did on TV, okay, they're talking about, oh, well, he got them there. He's always gotten them there. We're not taking away. His ass can't punch the ticket. And he should have been able to punch the ticket. And if we're going to keep energy, we have to keep the same energy. This is not black and white, but this is fairly black and white. We don't want to make that. But it fairly is. And if he can take accountability for it, as you said, Unqua, so eloquently, why the hell are y'all not taking it? Why? You put your hand on the stove, it's hot. That's what your ass get, right? But you're not going to tell your daughters, oh my God, I'm sorry for you. No, because I told you 3 million times. Your behind was supposed to do this. How many more times? I've never seen a Super Bowl more handed to somebody, or at least a chance to say they punched the ticket. Because now, if you at least punch the ticket, there's nothing we have to say for you, but we got to talk about Lamar big time. Now we also have to match that energy.
Can we take this even an extra step further? This has officially solidified for me that there is a 1A, 1B tier. And Josh Allen is in 1B tier all by himself. We cannot have a conversation as if he, Lamar, and Patrick Mahomes are peers. Not anymore.
They are not the same.
You know why? Because we talked about lack of weapons. We talked about everything. Correct me if I'm wrong, but was Juju Smith-Schuster the best receiver on that Chiefs team that beat the Eagles back in 2022-3? But was Juju Smith-Schuster like the best receiver on that team?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And when Zay Flowers was drafted by Baltimore, weren't people like absolutely over the moon because we couldn't name the receivers that Lamar was throwing to when he won his first MVP?
Which he made Pro Bowlers.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So, and I love that you mentioned Dalton Kincaid because, again, football, I've been gaining. I'm getting pretty good at it, I would say. And I hold myself to an absurd level because I'm a weirdo. But we remember the Patriots when they had that 2 tight end combination of Rob Gronkowski and the other dude. No, I won't be disrespectful. And Aaron Hernandez. We can't speak for what he did afterward. Tragedy, not great all around. But on the field, that was possibly the most lethal tight end combination ever.
Yeah.
Ever. I would call Rob Gronkowski the best tight end ever.
Yeah.
Point blank, period.
There was a time they were looking at Aaron Hernandez being better than Gronk.
So I'm trying to figure.
Who knew you could be a gangster on Monday and make touchdowns on Sunday?
Hey, man.
So well for years before he got caught,
I mean, I almost wish he put out an album and it'd be more real than half the crap we hear now. But anyway, what I would love to know is when you have Dalton Kincaid, who they were wild about, and Dawson Knox, who they were wild about. It almost feels like the only thing that those tight ends seem good for is blocking, which I think sells them short.
It does.
I think it sells them short a lot. And I was honestly thinking that maybe they're going to toss the keys to Joe Brady, and I think they still might. But the more that I think about it, he's just as culpable too.
Mm-hmm. Because he didn't utilize them the way he could have.
Boom. Because let's face it, for Julian Edelman to be the best wide receiver that Tom Brady had, for Tom Brady to be winning any Super Bowls, didn't make no sense. Oh, wait, he's throwing to Rob Gronkowski. Okay, makes sense.
So we're cutting to the chase. Josh, it's you.
And at least he knows that.
He knows that. That's
God bless him for knowing that.
He knows that.
And if he goes,
everyone around him, that makes a difference.
And if he goes in like 2012 LeBron and tears it up, I'm gonna sit there like this.
Yeah,
I always say about Lamar, the true maturation of Lamar Jackson the last 2 years has been his ability to come back after he knows that he messed up something. Because other years is a snowball. So I thought last year's game against the Bills, and mind you, we're not even talking about this if Derrick Henry doesn't fumble, but we're not talking about that. I thought that's the game. That's what you've been waiting for from Lamar Jackson. You've been waiting for him. He went in the locker room. He got his stuff together. He came back out and he willed his team back to win. But if we say that about Lamar, oh, two things can be true and blah, blah, blah. No, it's on him. Every which way, it's still his fault. John Harbaugh gets fired. Oh, well, he kind of didn't answer the question about what he feels about John Harbaugh. This man just lost the kick of his life. And you ask him about what is he supposed to say? But yet everybody's in there talking about my quarterback in these post-press conferences about Josh Allen. And we love Josh Allen. I don't want the people to think that we don't. If there's anything that you appreciate, is the class act he is and what he had to say about himself and his will to win. You know that man wants to win. When you got a quarterback going shoulder to shoulder, getting these touchdowns against these linebackers, he don't give a damn. He's a dog. But at some point, at what cost is it? And what cost is it for everybody else that's so compared to you? Stop it. Stop it. He is not that guy right now. Can we move forward?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Broncos host their first AFC Championship game in a decade after the win. Sean Payton returned to the post-game lectern to deliver the stunning news. He said Nix broke his right ankle a few plays before Lutzen's game-winning field goal in OT. Guess what? Nick's season is over. He had surgery today in Birmingham, Alabama. We celebrate the season for him, Peyton said. And listen, the city's ready and will be ready for the next challenge. Backup quarterback Jarrett Stidham takes over for Nix. He took just one snap this season. That snap was a kneel down in a blowout against Dallas in week 8. Stiddy's ready. He's ready. I said this at the beginning of the season. I've got a 2 that's capable of starting for a number of teams, and I know he feels the same way. So watch out, said Sean Payton. How do you win and lose at the same time? First question, because this is heartbreaking for Bo Nix.
Well, listen, it sucks for Bo Nix, and you know he played like a lion this entire season, and you hate to see players go out like that because you want to see them finish it off, whether they lose the game or win the game. So for him to not be able to play in the conference championship really does suck. So I feel for him on that, and I wish him a speedy recovery. He made me a believer because I was not sold on Bo Nix coming out in the draft, but he's made me a believer. And if there's anyone that I'm going to believe, it's going to be Sean Payton. If he says that Stidham is ready, I'm going to believe Sean Payton. Y'all got to think about this with Sean Payton. Sean Payton don't mince words. Sean Payton do not mince words. He didn't have to say Stidham will be ready. All you had to do was say, hey, you know, Bo Nix is out for the season. It's very unfortunate. We're going to move forward. We're going to, figure out what we're going to do, move forward. and get ready for his AFC Championship. For him to put a stamp on it, kind of saying like that's what he did was stamp it to say Stiddy's ready. I believe that he's going to have him ready. And we got to remember this. Jarrett Stidham, being a career backup, he has moments where he's had to start a couple games. And he is good enough to win a couple games for you. He is good enough to do some things and make your team believe like, he could be the quarterback of the future. He could be our starter. He has that experience. He's done that before. So if you're saying you need him for 2 games, now albeit it's the biggest game of his 2 biggest games of his career.
Yeah. I'm about to say those ain't no regular couple of games.
But if I
put
had
me
to
in, I'm
trust,
scared as hell.
but if I had to trust anyone, I would trust Sean Payton. Of course, he's going to definitely have it lean on his defense to do what they got to do. But I think he will have Stidham ready to play this weekend.
All right. Yes.
I got to be honest. I have not forgiven Sean Payton for forcing Taysom Hill down our throats. I have not forgiven. I have not forgiven for that. So, to be honest with you, I struggle to believe him. I feel like, honestly, to your point, Tristan, I shouldn't need you to stamp that the day before. Excuse me. I shouldn't need you to stamp that the week before the AFC Championship game. If that's your 2, we know. So why are you leaning in so hard? What aren't you telling us? Tell me, what aren't you telling us? He's not supposed to tell us what he's not been telling us, but still. For me, it's like, as a coach, he's supposed to talk up his guy. Frankly, I have not seen enough of Stidham to have an opinion one way or the other. It helps that he's at the crib, and it helps that the Patriots are a very good, not great defense to me. They're a very good, not great. So maybe there's some wiggle room for Stidham to do his thing, and maybe, just maybe, Sean Payton can scheme his way through to a Super Bowl. But for me, the oversell takes it over the edge for me. Like, I don't buy it all the way.
Well, if it's one thing you're definitely going to buy in New England, because they're on every damn corner. You're gonna go to Dunkin' Donuts, okay? You're gonna get your coffee, and you're gonna get your donut. And the Dunkin' Donuts football talk gotta be lit back up in New England because they're back. 28-16. I thought this was a game that they should have lost, but this ain't about what I think. Drake May, elevate. He had a sloppy game too, but elevate. I'm gonna keep saying it. 16-27, 179 yards, 3 touchdowns. He did throw a pick, 4 carries for 10 yards. Kayshon Boutte, 3 receptions, 75 yards, 1 touchdown. CJ Stroud, 20 of 47, 212 yards. That's not even that bad. One touchdown, but the man threw 4 of them picks, 4 of them things. The Texans have lost in the divisional round in 3 straight seasons under Coach DeMeco Ryans. The way everybody getting fired, I'm surprised he didn't get fired, but you can't do that. You know why? Because he is who he is. The franchise fell to 0-7 in this round. It's tough to win a game when you turn the ball over 5 times, says Ryan. Stroud, all of his interceptions, they came in the first half as he became the first player with 5 or more interceptions and 5 or more fumbles in a single postseason. Will Anderson Jr., with this nice smile in the defense. Y'all got to play that front. Y'all better pay them. Forced 2 fumbles for the Texans. I feel like I let the people down. You know, that's a trend these days, the last couple of days. I feel like I let people down. I ain't going to let y'all down, America. I'm not happy with that. It hurts. I'm not used to it, says CJ Stroud. Last but not least, if you like stats, y'all, the 8 combined turnovers. Woody Marks also lost a fumble for Houston, were the most in a playoff game since 2015 when the Cardinals and the Panthers, they combined for 8 in the NFC Championship. Questions, comments, concerns. And Tristan, I go back to you because you said CJ Stroud wasn't going to have another game like this. Me personally, I was thinking, well, damn, should he start playing in the rain when it pours, or go somewhere when it's snowing while the off season is in practice or something? But the guy did it without all the elements too. So you said he wouldn't do this again. The defense couldn't make it happen. The defense did his thing, but the defense couldn't get him over the hump this time. I don't care what y'all want to do. I'm gonna let y'all fight for this one.
Tristan, I'm gonna step out the way, dog. She went straight at you. I don't know why.
I mean, it wasn't a dig. I remember what we talked about. You know, I love it.
Listen, I was just as surprised as you were watching it. It was almost like you remember Space Jam, not the LeBron Space Jam, Michael Jordan Space Jam. Okay, you remember when the Monstars took all the powers from what was it, Patrick Ewing, Charles Barkley? That's what it looked like to me. It looked like he ain't never seen an NFL defense. It looked like he's never thrown an NFL pass. I don't know what was going on. Like I think one of them was a tip that went into an interception, but there were three of them interceptions that were just really bad reads. And not only that game, but even the game prior with the Steelers, you could have lost because of C.J. Stroud. He had 7 turnovers in 2 games. 7 by himself. Here's my thing. Here's my concern. If I'm the Texans, I'm really going to have a hard look at C.J. Stroud next year. Mm-hmm. Because it seems like after that rookie season, he's chasing a ghost. And he cannot seem to catch it. Now, the second year, gave him the benefit of the doubt. Offensive line wasn't that great. Stephon Diggs got hurt. Tank got hurt. Nico Collins got hurt. So we kind of gave C.J. Stroud a pass.
They're still going on Nico Collins not being there, but okay.
Right. But this year, he wasn't terrible, but he still wasn't rookie C.J. Stroud. I don't know what has happened. I don't know if maybe I always have a thing about players that act a little too confident when they're still learning. And the thing that always pops in my mind with him was when Caleb Williams rookie year and they played in that post game when he talked to him as if he's been in the league for like 10 years. It's like, bro, you still got some elect behind your ears too. They just started putting cereal in your bottle. Like, let's not do that. And that always kind of rubbed me wrong because I'm just like, bro, you just got here. How are you talking to him like that? You learning like he learning. And so I think after his rookie year, I think he started feeling himself too high and feel like he arrived. And the NFL will humble you because they're going to figure out what you can and can't do. These guys get paid just like you get paid. So if I'm the Texans, when I got Danielle Hunter, Will Anderson on the other side, my 2 bookend corners, I have a championship defense.
TT.
I'm gonna look at C.J. Stroud next year because if he doesn't show any kind of improvement, any kind of growth, you have to take in consideration of what you're going to do at your quarterback position moving forward because you cannot waste a championship level defense like that. You cannot do that. That defense should be competing right now in the AFC Championship game. That defense should be competing right now. That was Legion of Boom type defense. That was the 2002 Ravens type defense. 2000 Ravens type defense. That was 2002 Tampa Bay Buccaneers type defense. That defense should be competing in the Super Bowl. That defense was humming, and C.J. Stroud literally threw the game away. I would have a hard look at him, and I try not to be like that with black quarterbacks. I root for black quarterbacks, but I call it like I see it.
At some point, I don't know if Troy Aikman even alluded to was it appropriate to put Mims in? I don't know if you heard him that commentary. Did you bench CJ in one of the biggest games of his career? But you can't do that to his ego.
I don't care about your ego when I'm a game away from playing in a championship. I don't care about your ego. You're not performing. I let you slide in the Steelers game. We got out of there. You performed even worse in this game. Nah, I'd have let Davis Mills get in there and get some burn for sure.
We
For
just
sure.
need
Because
a man.
in the games that CJ Stroud was out, Davis Mills won all those games.
Yeah. Yeah.
Convincingly, might I add.
We're benching a generational quarterback.
I don't know if he's generational.
You know how I feel about that word. You know how I feel about that
Well,
word.
the guy you drafted to be the generational quarterback
Listen.
in the most important game of his career, where you
You know-
already can see that he's inside of his head, you're saying
Mikhail.
bench him?
Then maybe he needs a drive off.
Mikhail,
At least.
you know how I feel. That word
I
triggers me.
understand it's a
You know
word
it
that's
triggers
used
me.
eloquently when it's supposed to be used. I know.
Listen, the last generational talent. I'm not talking about talented guys that develop. I'm talking about you put the man on a football field and he was ready to go from day one. The last one I saw like that was Andrew. That was the last one I saw like that. I'm talking about put him on the field day one, and he's one of the best players in the league. That was him.
All right, Unqua, any words on CJ before we move on?
I'm kind of sad. You know, I think after that rookie season, we saw a lot more of him. You know how he's growing in this. I hated that whole Wonderlic score saga when it came to him. And so part of me was like, look, anytime somebody can knock down some sort of standardized testing, you know, I'm kind of all for it.
All for it, for sure.
But I think you have to. I don't think you have next year to answer questions. I think you got to ask them joints right now. I don't even think that means you need to trade him. No. But you need to call everybody. Call Patrick Mahomes, quarterback coach. Call Quincy Avery.
Yeah.
See if Bruce Arians or Jim Caldwell can come out of retirement and just spend a week with him. You got to pull out all the stops, because one of the distressing things about that game that I'm starting to remember is that he looked lost.
Body language.
He looked like, I have no idea what's going on out there. When Sam Darnold was caught on a hot mic saying, I'm seeing ghosts out there, CJ Stroud didn't have to say that. We saw it.
We saw it. I agree.
Yes, it was snowing. Yes, that Patriots defense is very good. But, hey, man. And the thing is, once he lost his security blanket in Dalton Schultz, everything kind of twisted.
Everything changed.
And you can't have that from your franchise quarterback.
Nope.
I understand it's been a rough couple years, because, correct me if I'm wrong, but when he went down earlier this season, it was with a concussion, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
Concussions and quarterbacks do not go well together.
That's true.
Part of me is wondering whether he rushed himself back, or whether the team maybe rushed him back a little too soon and didn't tell us, because he doesn't look right. I do think part of that is his likability. Shout out Hurricane. Part of that I do think is him not adjusting, because, you know, rookie year stuff doesn't work in year 3. But I do think another part of that is trying to come back from concussion. And he had concussion problems last year too.
He did.
So somehow, somewhere, everybody's got to come to an understanding, and they got to be serious about that offensive line, because while some of them throws were I think all those interceptions, aside from the one that was tipped, I think all of them were his fault. But if he ain't got no time, what exactly is he supposed to do?
I agree.
So that's where I'm at with it. But those questions, they don't have next off season to figure it out. Yeah. I think that window is do or die. And I will say that honestly, because the AFC South went from being a laughable division, it might low-key have the best No, not the best. It might low-key have the most intriguing head coaches top to bottom in that division. We know DeMeco Ryans is very good. We found out that Liam Cohen is very good.
Mm-hmm.
Shane Steichen, I have questions about how he manages his quarterback room.
Yeah.
But the Colts ain't sorry.
No, it's a solid thing.
And I am, full disclosure, I grew up a Jets fan. They are on a 1-year contract, 1-year proven contract with me. If they embarrass me this next year, I'm probably switching shades of green. So, I mean, you know where I am. I'm probably switching shades of green. And I'll say that publicly.
He lives in Philly, just so you know.
Yeah. So it is what it is. All of that is to say, I saw Robert Saleh as a head coach. I question his choice in offensive coordinators.
Yeah.
I question his choice of backing Aaron Rodgers as a quarterback. Then again, Mike Tomlin chose that to be the last quarterback he chose. I don't have great feelings about Aaron Rodgers, but Robert Saleh got his defenses to play hard.
But who's to say? I always put that.
So the Titans aren't going to be bad. The Titans aren't going to be super sorry either.
No, but I always put that asterisk with the Jets of what would have it looked like had Aaron Rodgers not tore that Achilles. We just never got to see that.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I think if he gets a good OC that can really develop Cam Ward. I mean, Cam Ward shows some wild ability, and you know he's going to have that defense. You know he's going to have that defense ready. Yeah, the AFC South is going to be interesting.
Shout out to Hurricane Beast. The Patriots, winners of 15 of their last 16 games, will make their 16th conference championship game appearance and first since their run to their 6th Super Bowl title under Bill Belichick in the 2018 season. No? Yeah. New England has won its last 9 divisional round games. And what else is in their favor, guys, as they move on next week? The Patriots now go back on the road where they've won 8 straight this season. They're 8-0 on the road. So, hey, shout out to the Patriots. I for one, the Houstons were going to the top. That defense is young. You got to figure that out now. Them boys is bad.
They're young. Yeah, they're young.
Oh, they're young. Will Anderson is only his 3rd
year.
Yeah. Jesus. Anyways, 40. This game will be pretty quickly. I don't think we need to talk more about this. 41 Seahawks, 49ers 6. Brock Purdy, 15 of 27, 140 yards, 1 interception, 5 carries, 37 yards on the ground. In their defense, we'll talk about that later. Sam Darnold, shout out to Sammy Sam from California. You might be a chance to go home, Sammy, and play for the Super Bowl. Shout out to Minnesota. I know.
I was about to say, how y'all feel, Minnesota?
I know Justin Jefferson got to be gritty and in anger somewhere, because look what you did to this
man. Gritty and anger is crazy work.
12 out of 7. We have fun on this show, America. We have fun. 12 of 17, 124 yards. Please don't ever quote me on some of the stuff I say. I don't even know how it even comes to me. Kenneth Walker the third, because he's all them things, okay? 1, 2, 3. 19 carries, 116 yards, 3 touchdowns. The Seahawks dominate 49ers from the opening kick. Rashid Shaheed returning the opening kick all for a touchdown. Really proud to be a part of this team and this organization. I bet you are, Sammy. After he flopped in his playoff debut last season with the Minnesota Vikings by taking 9 sacks in a 27-9 loss to the Los Angeles Rams. Darnold completed 12 of 17 passes for 124 yards, connected with Jackson Smith and Jigba for a touchdown for the Stars, his receiving playoff debut. I know you was looking at the last couple of years that everybody got let go. I know and Jigba was looking around like, help me. What am I supposed to do? Welcome to this little party. In his defense, though, let's start first with the 49ers, okay? They were never competitive in the second most lopsided playoff loss in franchise history. San Francisco lost 49-3 to the New York Giants in the divisional round in 1986. That game is older than me. The Niners, no George Kittle, no Fred Warner. Fred Warner was coming down trying to talk to him. Defensive end Nick Bosa, he's out of there. All pros, despite this particular outing, guys. Hey, the last 3 3 out of 4 years, this team has been able to find a way, despite their inconsistencies in these injuries. Talk about the resiliency of the San Francisco 49ers. Watch out for next year when all these people get healthy.
We got to start asking Kyle Shanahan how badly he wants his physical practices. Because I'll be honest, I pride myself on being like smart with media consumption, but I got had with that whole electromagnetic, whatever that was. Like I asked my friend who's into sports, who's like in sports media and also very much a Niners fan. I'm like, yo, how real is this? And his literal first response was, Unqua, not you too. And I said, oh, crap. Because some insight that I did not have about Kyle Shanahan is that the 49ers run very physical practices.
Tough practice.
And that wears on a team throughout the season. Frankly, the fact that they still had they got a full year out of Christian McCaffrey.
Who should have been an MVP. We understand the rule, which y'all giving the quarterback.
We know running backs don't get. And you thought they'd have given him. Let's move on.
We don't need to talk about Saquon.
I was like, that's why I said, let's move on. The fact that you got a full season out of him, and then he ended up getting limp, and he ended up coming up limp. You lost poor George Kittle on a torn Achilles the week before.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be just rest, recovery. I give them so much credit for that resilience because it could have really been over, but it wasn't. I think a lot higher of Brock Purdy this year than I did last. I think they made the right deal by giving him the bread. I think it's going to be hard to do better than Brock Purdy. And you know what? Robert Saleh proved he deserved another chance, and that coaching the Jets should kind of just be treated like a mulligan in golf.
Tristan, quickly, and as you answer that, I'm going to add the next question, and Unqua, you can go after that. Is it the Seahawks and whoever else joins them? Is it this easy for them? Front runner. Are we ever going to get one? Go ahead.
I don't want to say that. I mean, it looks like it because Mike McDonald just has that team clicking on all cylinders. His defense is also very good, and that's what he predicated himself on. I mean, you can look at how the Ravens defense was without him. It shows his face. So, and Sam Darnold, I think you give Sam Darnold enough confidence and put him in a controlled situation, running the football, put him in good spots. I mean, he's got a great core of receivers to throw to at that. So, I guess you could say it's them. Yeah, I guess so. I guess they would be the front runner NFC wise because they're just the most complete team in the playoffs right now.
I do not like the Rams, and it has nothing to do with the Rams. It has everything to do with
I don't know. I don't know why I don't like them neither, but I'm not feeling this whole playoff run. When we go to this prime time, because this was prime time television. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm not on Facebook if you follow me. I don't know why I can't stand the Rams.
I don't know why either.
Get them out of there. Somebody beat their ass. Like I can't do it with this.
But but Michael, you know what the worst part about it is? They're going to
let me retell the tale before you go. Rams 20, Bears 17. No, this was pretty, okay? Matthew Stafford, 20 and 42, 258 yards. All them yards, the guy didn't throw a touchdown. He threw no picks neither. Kyron Williams, 21 carries, 87 yards. He the one that got the touchdowns. That's 2. Puka Nacua, Mr. Everything, okay? 5 receptions, 56 yards. Caleb Williams. Hey, look, if Iceman got to wear nail polish, then call him whatever you want, okay? 23 and 42, 257 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions the man threw, 5 carries, 40 yards on the ground. DeAndre Swiftly, 19 carries, 76 yards. DJ Moore, 5 receptions, 52 yards, 1 touchdown. Bears pulled off 7 fourth quarter comebacks, wins in Ben Johnson's first season. I would have said take the 3 points. I get it, but you got to stay true to who you are. But take the 3. Came up short this time. Los Angeles led 17-10 in the final minute of regulation, and the Bears faced 4th and 4 from the 14-yard line when Williams backpedaled. What the hell was you doing? I said to myself. To avoid the pass rush and heave the ball to Cole Kmet for the tying touchdown with 18 seconds left, although officially a 14-yard pass. The ball traveled 51.2 yards in the air, according to NFL's next-gen stats. In these moments, you feel you let your team down. I swear, I tell you, did everybody read from the same post-game book? You feel this and that, Williams said. It's a good lesson learned for us. First time being in this situation for me and for us, a team. I'm excited for what's to come, but obviously going back and watching this and seeing how I can get better. Look, that's how you drive, okay? From now on, that's how you drive. And you learned something from that Hail Mary in DC, didn't you? Hey, look, DC's on, baby. We can claim him right now, Chris. Right, Tristan? When he ain't playing the burgundy and gold, we can claim him. DC.
Oh, listen, I was rooting for him to go all the way.
It clicked for him under Ben Johnson, fellas. We've been waiting for this. Iceman with black nail polish and 2 earrings. Shout out to him, light-skinned man. He's doing his thing. Okay? You could feel the electricity in Soldier Field. From even sitting on your couches, you can feel the rumbling. You could tell they were so into that. They're appalling him as he walked off the field. How did you feel about his debut in the Bears for years to come? Hey, how did you feel about that?
Let me explain something to people. The reason why the Caleb Williams stuff got me so mad during his rookie season is because I saw from jump that his coaches were morons. And it was really, really obvious on Thanksgiving Day when his coach, with timeouts in his pocket, let the clock run out before they could tie the game.
He wouldn't have made it back on the bus.
Right. They let him have another press conference as if he did the right thing. That was wild to me.
That Houston defense looking at CJ Stroud on the plane. How was that? Go ahead.
Dog. So that rookie year, I'm just looking at it. I'm like, okay, Caleb Williams still did all this raw, pretty much, because I read a few excerpts from the book where pretty much nobody on the coaching staff helped Caleb Williams break down film week to week.
Yep.
Where Caleb Williams was literally doing whatever he could not to go to Chicago because people already gave him intel on how inept that organization's coaching staff was at dealing with offense, much less the most talented quarterback prospect they have ever had. So, of course, Ben Johnson's going to make him a star. I take him over Jared Goff. Let's keep it a buck. That's why Ben Johnson left. He's like, I can coordinate Jared Goff and probably get a better job, or I can go right now with that dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now, Ben Johnson has a little bit of that Madden in him that, all these new school offensive coordinators have, which is just do what I say and you'll be fine. Shout out Bomani Jones, because that's something that he has hammered home a whole lot of times.
He put him in check.
Finally, like, Caleb had a shot now. He's going to get better. So I ain't worried about this at all. Like, yeah, I think they're going to win the NFC North, and season hasn't even started yet.
Tristan, quickly.
I'll be along with it. I'm sorry.
No,
you're fine. We have fun on this show. This is a family program, depending on the word.
I root for Caleb Williams because he's hometown. Played at Gonzaga, and so I was rooting for him all the way. I wanted him to go into the Super Bowl. What I love what Ben Johnson did, and you noticed it even with his departure from the line. Ben Johnson looked at Caleb and said, "Okay, I got this really special kid that's got some special tools. How can I show him that he does not have to use the special tools except when needed?" And that's all. That's all he did. He just told him to say, "Hey, this was great. This was great. This was great. But you don't have to do this at this time. This at this time. Only when it's called upon is when you need to go in your bag. Let me give you the offense that you can run efficiently, and let's do that. Let's run the football. Let's take the checkdowns. Let's take the easy read. And then when I need you to be superhuman, give it to me." And he's done it. Now, the thing about with Caleb is, and he's going to learn it, he's going to grow from it, is just the mistakes he makes when he tries to be a superhuman. He makes those mistakes, but he's young. Ben Johnson's going to coach that out of him. This
that
was a match made in heaven.
Is his want to make happen so bad.
It just he can do things that only a few people in the world can do. You know, I mean, and when I say a few, I mean like probably Patrick Mahomes, probably the only other one that could do what he does. So when you know you got a talent like that, what happens a lot of times with these coaches and coordinators when they get these guys is that they try to cloak them into this one thing, even though they have all these special abilities. It's like, no, I want you to do everything that you can do, but I want you to do it in a controlled manner so that you can see it and understand why do I need it? When do I need it? That throw, we wouldn't talk about overtime if he didn't make that crazy throw.
No.
But it was crazy, but we would not talk about overtime if it was for that. So I'm excited. I mean, I could definitely see them competing for the NFC Championship again next year because they're only going to get better. I could see him getting a Super Bowl opportunity.
Return of the Mac. Khalil, come back, baby. That's all we need.
When I say this was a match made in heaven, when I say this was a match made in heaven for Caleb Williams, the best thing that could have happened to him was that Ben Johnson decided to come to Chicago. And it's going to be awesome for years to come. And I'm glad to see it because Chicago's never had someone at the
No, it's been a while.
Ever. No, it's been ever.
Khalil, baby, look, talk to your manager, talk to your agent. Just come back. Just finish your career.
The fact that the two quarterbacks you can speak of, well, three is Jim McMahon, Jim Harbaugh, and Rex Grossman.
Yeah. We're not going to talk about Carson.
I'm saying Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler has all them records, and they hate him.
And they hate him. Like Caleb, by the time barring injury or anything like that, Caleb Williams is going to get a statue.
Anywho, the Rams squeeze out another one. Hey, look, shout out to them. It might seem like I'm hating. I might be hating. Harrison.
Nah, you better than me.
Harrison Mavis kicks a 42-yard field goal in overtime after Cam Curl intercepted a deep pass by Williams on the Bears' first possession for an extra period. In the extra period, Stafford glanced at his coach prior to the winning drive, then completed passes. Y'all out here calling Matthew Stafford every time. This is the second game I done read something. Y'all talking about he looked in his eyes and he said that he's gonna Matthew Stafford glanced at his coach prior to the winning drive, then completed 3 passes for first downs, including a 16-yarder to Puka Nacua. About time. That's a good show up, ain't it? He showed up at the right time to get the Rams into field goal range. Rams will visit NFC West rival Seattle. They split the series this year. In their first trip to the conference championship since the 2021 team won the Super Bowl. Shout out to Sean McVay. He keeps it rolling. You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad that you pivoted because you saved me from having to ramble on. We do know the Rams are going to the Super Bowl, right?
Nobody.
I think the Seahawks will be.
Here's my thing with the Rams.
Is this it's time they get exposed? Because the Rams wasn't supposed to win the last time. The Rams was.
Well, I think that's one of them. But I think the other thing, we know how much the NFL loves quarterback-driven storylines.
Absolutely.
And we know how often that's really fiction. I think this Stafford thing might actually be real.
Okay.
I really think so because
he's gonna get.
I remember, yeah. There's no reason why he shouldn't. And what we have seen with him is that he's gone from being just a gunslinger to actually like improving. It helps that his receiving core is likely the best in the league. He has helmed the most potent scoring offense in the NFL. And they've played in Seattle before. It's a rubber match. I think the Rams are going to win it. And the thing is, part of my dislike, I can't name.
Yuck.
The other part of it is that Davante Adams, who was not in town for a full season, was taking shots at the Jets on the way out, and I thought that was just kind of corny. I'm like,
after you want to be.
You listen. Because
he guy came over there. He didn't give me the full spill, did he?
That's what's crazy, because he left Green Bay the first time because he wasn't the man. He went to Las Vegas to go play with David Carr. Is it David
boy?
Carr? Yeah, that's his boy from college.
Derek Carr.
Derek, thank you. I be getting them confused.
I do the same thing.
Listen, so yeah, to play with Derek Carr, college roommate. I get it.
He loves comfortability.
Whatever. Yeah, that's all well and good. So that's why you wanted to come to the Jets when it all went to hell in Vegas. And now you go over here, you know what you're getting into. You're taking receptions away from an arguably more talented receiver than you on that team in Garrett Wilson. And then you're surprised because they let you go and you get to go to LA to go play with Matthew Stafford, and you got stuff to say? Nah, that rubs me the wrong way. Unfortunately, he's gonna go to the Super Bowl. It is what it is.
Well,
I think they're gonna win
it. You probably mirror all of this, right, Tristan?
Yeah, except for the fact I think the Seahawks can win. I think the Seahawks can beat them.
Yeah, I picked the latter.
But I mirror everything else you said. Though.
We're gonna call this Baseball in a Minute with Unkwa. Segment. Carlos, according to the Associated Press, Carlos Beltran and Andrew Jones elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Beltran was elected in the fourth year of eligibility after being named on 84.2% of the BBWAA ballots, easily clearing the 75% threshold for the enshrinement. Jones was named on 78.4% of the ballots, just clearing the bar to earn election in this ninth and second to last year of eligibility. They joined Jeff Kent, who was elected in December in the Contemporary Era Committee voting in the class of 2026. Beltran, a 9-time All-Star and 3-time Gold Glover. The Puerto Rican outfielder hit .279 during his 20-year career with 2,725 hits, 435 homers, and 312 stolen bases. He is one of the 4 players to reach 2,700 hits, 400 homers, and 300 steals, joining Barry Bonds, Willie Mays, Alex Rodriguez. 5th born in Puerto Rico to be elected. Beltran, I got to make the Puerto Rico. I'm missing out, baby. Beltran, the 1999 AL Rookie of the Year with Kansas City, likely would have gotten in during his first year of 2 year of eligibility, if not for his association. You guys might remember this with the Houston Astros, who signed stealing scandal, tracing back to their 2017 World Series winning club. Talk about Carlos.
One of the best switch hitters we have ever seen. The speed is there. The fielding is there. I think it was eventual. And it sucks because the hard and fast numbers in baseball, right? 3,000 hits, 500 home runs, 300 average. Those numbers like fluctuate now because the game has changed so much, especially in favor of the pitchers. And then as far as those pitchers, it's all heavy velocity, no real stretchability. So 300 wins is going to go out the window. We might get 3,000 strikeouts. You know, like because all of the hard and fast numbers are in flux, I do think it's important to appreciate players at their peak. And I think Beltran is a totally good example of that, a deserving member of the Hall of Fame. And as far as the sign stealing scandal goes, They're clan members in the Hall of Fame. I really don't want to hear anything about integrity.
Jones will become the first player born in, how do you say this?
Curacao.
Shout out to the Caribbean, okay? Love y'all. Never been, hopefully. To be inducted, best remembered for the legendary defensive prowess he displayed during the first decade of his career. Jones is one on just 6 outfielders to win 10 or more Gold Gloves. He hit .254 or 434 homers during his 17 seasons in the majors. Jones burst onto the scene in 2006 when at 19. He homered twice in Game 1 at the 1996 World Series for the Braves against New York at Yankee Stadium. If you want to be famous, that's what you do. Jones's candidacy built slowly during his year of eligibility, growing from 7.5% in his first season to eventual enshrinement. Likely holding Jones back in the early years of the process was the decline he displayed after his age 30 season and domestic violence charges filed against him in 2012, a couple of months after he played his last big league game. He went on to play 2 seasons in Japan.
Sadly, that's the first I heard of the DV charges, because that's not good at all. That's wee. But I said what I said about the whole integrity piece, and I don't take that back. As far as Andruw Jones goes, by far one of the best center fielders, again, I've ever seen. And I think sometimes that's what we have to go on these days. Plus, at his peak, Andruw Jones was scary. I remember, because, correct me if I'm wrong, and I don't know why this is escaping me now. He was an MVP runner-up, I want to say either 2005, 2006. He hit like maybe 260 or something like that, but he led the league in homers with like 50-something and still won a Gold Glove. I don't really know what else you want. He did his thing at his peak. He deserved to be here.
Tristan, you like the Dodgers. In the wake of another championship, which made them the first Major League Baseball team in a quarter-century repeat, the Los Angeles Dodgers, they add to that roster even after vowing to let free agency come to them. When you're that damn good, you don't got to chase the stars, because guess what? Their ass is going to come to you. Kyle Tucker, the consensus best player available in free agency, agreed to join the Dodgers a little more than a month after star closer Edwin Diaz did the same. Tucker's deal for 4 years at $240 million and includes opt-outs after the second and third seasons. Tucker's deal comes with $30 million deferred, a source told ESPN, confirming multiple reports. That gives it a present-day average annual value of $57.1 million, a record-beating Juan Soto's $51 million AAV with the Mets. Because the Dodgers are already on track to exceed MLB's highest luxury tax threshold in 2026, prompting a 110% average, Tucker will cost them, probably peanuts to them, will cost them $119.9 million annually. The rich keep getting richer. How do we feel about this in these contracts?
I feel like I should have played baseball.
hey, Kyler Murray, are you watching the show? I'm not saying anything about you football-wise, but damn, you gave up a lot of money and a lot of gold around that neck, because they play more pretty. Hey, Justin, they play a little bit more icy than you, buddy.
I mean, it ain't too late for Kyler, man. He's still relatively young.
I'd consider it.
Yeah, call the Athletics, man. Say, hey, y'all got a spot for me.
I made a mistake.
He could call the Diamondbacks, have him in the middle infield with Ketel Marte, maybe.
Exactly. But listen, this is the advantage of when you have tailored a team so strong for the past few years. You get the kind of money and the kind of opportunity to have the big name, the big wigs, as they call it, come over to your squad. And you got to understand the youth wise. You got to understand the youth of them. Like, it's a relatively young squad, and they're just going to get better and better as they're going. And everybody's looking at the superstar. You guys make sure he holds up. I think they're going to be a little wiser with him playing both sides of the ball because they want to, try to avoid injury. But man, I mean, dare we say a repeat?
Listen, not only would I not mind that, so baseball is my favorite sport. So this hits home for me. And I know that we are running long on time. So let me just put it like this. Because what the Dodgers are doing has a bunch of people clamoring for a salary cap. Let me go ahead and address this right here, right now. 29 other billionaire owners did not want to pay the amount of money that the Dodgers wanted to pay for Kyle Tucker. That's why we are here. Would I pay Kyle Tucker $60 million? No. Because Aaron Judge doesn't even make $60 million. But hey, it's your money. You do what you want with it. But I'm tired of hearing the people who have the money and don't use it in their own teams that have fan bases going, hey, what's going on here? Thankfully, in Philadelphia, that has not been a problem because John Middleton has shown that he's ready to spend. But Mikel, would you please give me the number?
Said it right the first time,
Mikel, could you please give me the number that the Los Angeles Dodgers are paying in luxury tax? Because I pulled up some numbers. And I'll do them quick, I promise.
Yeah. All up. Look. Prompting 110% average, Tucker will cost them $119.9 million annually.
$119 million annually.
119.9.
119.9. So to put that in perspective,
to exceed
the
highest luxury tax threshold in 2026,
which means they are paying more in luxury tax than the Marlins are paying, than the Rays are paying, than the Guardians are paying, and the White Sox are paying for their entire payroll.
Well, Magic got the magic and the money.
Oh, and it gets better because that's just for what the current luxury tax tracker is on spottrack.com. I'm going to Baseball Prospectus to pull up what the payrolls were from last season. That $119.9 million is higher than the A's spent on their payroll last year, higher than the Pirates spent on their payroll last year, higher than the Guardians, I've said that before, higher than the Reds, higher than the White Sox, higher than the Rays, higher than the Marlins, higher than the Nationals. Stop whining, pay money. You don't need a salary cap, you need to open your books. And if you try to tell hardworking people who love baseball and want to go to these games, and if you want to try to tell the media, some of whom are in your pocket, others who are looking to the left and the right going, what's going on here? Maybe that baseball isn't the right place for you to be. Maybe, just maybe, the billions of dollars that you don't want to spend in investing in your team, maybe you can just go do something else. Because to tell me you ain't got it, to tell them you ain't got it, when the luxury tax for the Dodgers alone is bigger than some payrolls, is ridiculous.
Because they got it. They rolling.
Period.
I know we haven't talked about NBA in a while. I could go to the NFL coaching carousel, but I think we can talk about that another time. NBA All-Star 2026 starts. I will be honest. I love basketball. But put your asses back on ABC, okay? I ain't got the Peacocks. I love John Wall. I love Carmelo Anthony. I love John Wall. I can't do the Amazon Prime. I can't do the Peacock. I can't do all these things you want me to pay for just to watch them dribbling. Go on ABC, baby. Or at least put it on Channel 4. Well, Channel 4 in DC, NBC. If put it on a channel where I need to get the antenna and put some aluminum foil on it, because that's how I'm used to watching basketball. That's how I fell in love with it. Okay, I ain't never missed a Michael Jordan game a day in my life, and look at what y'all doing in 2026. East All-Stars, if we're still saying that. Jalen Brunson, Cade Cunningham, first time Jalen Brunson, his first time as a starter. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Tyrese Maxey, the West, Luka Doncic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Stephen Curry, Victor Wembanyama, Nikola Jokic. Noticeably not there. LeBron James, he is not named an all-star starter, ending a 20-year run. His son got 2 NBA votes. Player votes to start in the all-star game. Hey,
player votes? They some trolls, dog. Why did they do that?
You know that trolling.
Why they do that?
I didn't realize that when I wrote it down.
That's disrespectful.
Can't believe that.
So to see that.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
I want to know who those two were, because that's
me too, dog.
That's petty, man. That boy ain't do nothing to nobody.
Oh, he's not the first person to have his daddy get him a job. I mean, come on, man.
Come on.
Me personally, could you have imagined him, Kyan? I would have loved to see nepotism at its finest in full collegiate careers, which one of their fathers was able to actually do, only 1 year, but the other didn't. I would have. If legacy is different. Go a different route, do the whole thing. But I guess after that scare, he thought, man, I need to tap in. I might not get this chance again. For someone who's had open heart surgery, he didn't have that. But for someone who's had a congenital heart defect, I get it. Speaking of a defect, Jimmy Butler has suffered a season-ending torn right ACL. How does that take away from the Warriors' championship goals, especially at this time of Stephen Curry and where he's at now?
They're dead. They're lucky they're lucky he don't want to go nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Steph's just playing for the fans at this point. That championship window is gone.
That's what there you
go.
Yep, they put all the chips in the middle to go get Jimmy Butler. Now he's injured. Yeah. I don't even think he was even the right fit for that team, but it ain't my call. It is what it is. But what stinks is that I don't know if it stinks. I think it's kind of hilarious now. They have to play Jonathan Kuminga now, don't they?
You got to at least call him.
You got to play him now.
But if I'm Kuminga, I'm like, oh, my back. My sciatica. Yeah, I ain't touching that floor.
My man said trade me.
Yeah, if I'm Kuminga, I'm not touching that floor. I'm not putting.
When you think of the body of work of Jimmy Butler, now, and this is an injury, but we've talked about his trail of wanting to get what he wants. Mm-hmm. How does this factor in that?
Well, he was behaving himself in Golden State.
He was behaving himself. He was.
Yeah, he was behaving himself, and he was getting buckets. He was Jimmy Bucket. He did what he was supposed to do, but now without him, I didn't think they had a shot with him, but without him, it's nothing.
Well, I'm just going to read this, and we don't really have to discuss it, but just in case you're under a rock, if you want to go back to the NFL coaching carousel, the Falcons, they now have a president of football, Matt Ryan, and his first thing on the job was to do, shout out to DC Young Fly, was to hire Kevin Stefanski. Miami, their new head coach is Jeff Hafley, former Packers defensive coordinator. The Giants, of course, we know they just introduced John Harbaugh, former Ravens coach. Tennessee, Robert Saleh. Washington, we get a new offensive coordinator, David Bluff. He hasn't been far. He's a former Commander's assistant quarterback coach. So just in case so you guys can know, I just wanted to keep the people abreast with what's going on. I know we've been talking football and we've been talking these games, but everybody been getting fired and everybody been getting hired. So we just needed to let you know.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
Who's new on the sideline?
I'm gonna tell you right now. That Raiders and Cleveland job is gonna be hard to fill.
Whoa!
It's gonna be hard to fill. Because there are people not sold on Mendoza. And everybody knows Mark Davis is going to make whoever that coach is draft Mendoza number 1 for the Raiders.
I don't know how you could I don't know how you could not be sold on Mendoza. I mean, don't get me wrong. If Jared Goff can go number 1 and he ain't win nothing, you telling me you got a problem with Fernando Mendoza, who is clearly going to have a very strong political career wherever he chooses to go.
Oh, absolutely. You talk about media ready?
But there are jokes I'm going to make when this broadcast is over to the both of y'all. And I think y'all know where I'm going with it. But all that to say, I don't know, man. That kid is tough. He's made tough throws. You don't want to draft him number 1. I hope they're calling Cliff Kingsbury, because he may not be Kyler Murray in terms of the whole athletic upside thing.
We need another rookie whisperer.
But yeah, go ahead, get Cliff to go get Fernando to be like, oh, word.
That's one thing he's good for. He can whisper.
I think the challenge is not Mendoza himself, but it's the fact that that roster has so many holes.
Oh, yes.
And they just don't know if Mendoza can carry that while they try to build it. Because you got to convince free agents to go over there. It's just so the cupboard is so bare. It's so bare over there.
It's Max Crosby, it's Ashton Genty, Brock Bowers, and a bunch of dudes.
No, that's it.
If Rumorville is Rumorville, hey yo, Max, you can get a house in Capitol Hill. You know what I'm saying? We would love to see you out in Bethesda. You know, some nice houses out there. You know, you don't want to be in the desert. You want to be back in the city, baby. What's up?
That's right.
He's cold.
That's right.
Hey,
Get
man.
you a coat. Just saying. And we're just saying, look, if you stayed on here, we started a little late, but if you stayed, we appreciate you. And I closed the book. You know, Umpqua. This was a pleasure. We have fun on this show. Hey, look, you got a new segment. I pinned it just in case you want to come back and say, hey, Kels, there's like some MLB, which I do look at. You know, we're a community show here, and, you know, I expand my horizons. But if you ever want to call me, you're no longer a guest in our homes. You know, you can get your own juice now, and we can talk.
I made it. Damn, I made it.
We can talk.
I have to say this. This is the most fun I've had talking sports in a very, very long time.
Well, you believe in the show before I did. Shoot, I didn't even know you. I didn't even know this man knew me.
Listen. I'm so grateful that I had the chance to share the time with y'all, especially after the hectic night that we had. This was awesome, and yeah, when it comes to the baseball stuff, I'm gonna be knocking on you like, I'm like, yo. Let me get a minute, and if it turns into 5, I promise I'll buy juice the next time I come over.
Sounds good to me.
See you in Atlanta.
Hey!
See you in Atlanta, boy.
Hey!
And you know,
live edition?
I never tried that. You know, I never did that. You know, I never even went out. I mean, I don't know why I don't. I got everybody around me. I never did that. Maybe I'll try something new. You know
Jamal. You know Jamal, right?
Who?
I'm about to link y'all.
If they want, I always said if they wanted to do an NABJ Sports Task Force podcast.
Nah.
But they're not calling me. They're gonna call.
You let
Stephanie.
me.
They're gonna call somebody else, but call me.
You let me.
I host a party. You let
me know. You let me worry about that.
I host a party. I'll host a party.
Now you got me thinking.
Hey, look, don't mess around. Make me a housewife in Atlanta. Anyway.
Hey, yo!
I was saying. Come on, we gotta end this show. You gotta get You know they're gonna be down there like Wags. Come on.
Yo.
You know they're gonna be down there like Wags. Come on.
Oh
I didn't prepare you enough for this, but with all that said and done,
the time of my life. You have no idea. I can't wait to come back.
we're glad you had some fun, Tristan.
Sure.
I'm gonna get you to sleep, baby. I'm sorry. We're gonna take a break, but you'll see us in February. This January is too damn long. Okay, how's it January 20th and we still got it feel like 3.5 weeks of this thing.
I know.
I'm gonna say it like I say it every week, and I don't care if it does not rhyme and it's still mine. I'm Mikkel. Everybody for listening. Hurricane Beast, make sure you subscribe. He told you. Drop those comments down below. I'm gonna say it like I say it every week, and I don't care if it does not rhyme. It's always mine. I'm Mikkel, Kevin Mikkel, America. Peace.